thank you for taking our time to join us today. The EVP upstream being represented, the chairman of GACN being represented today by the chairman of Honourable Gas. Thank you very much. The MD GACN, thank you very much for this partnership. I don't know if the MDPL is around. NDML, yes, I don't know if he's around. He's not around. Okay, thank you very much. The chairman of our LASEC, thank you very much for making our time to join us. The MD of IOGC, thank you. MD of LISO, thank you. All the other members of the team, thank you very much. My PS, I missed the protocol, thank you. And GM, LSE, thank you very much. And we have many people also from federal agency. I can pick a lot of faces in this audience. Maybe this will be the second set of people that we are going to be discussing this depth of details with. And I'm so delighted that I still have this opportunity to lead this conversation. Now, Lagos State government, as you know, we have the opportunity of providing a livable environment for over 25 million people. We are building a clean Lagos electricity market. And part of the key feedstock for that clean Lagos electricity market is gas. And at the center of making the electricity market successful in the first place is our ability to convert molecules to electrons at the end of the value chain. And currently, Lagos requires about 6 gigawatts of electricity. But unfortunately, we hardly get about 1 gigawatt from the national grid. And we have taken the step to ask ourselves the questions as to how come this situation is like this. And we have proper, definite work steps to resolve this situation over time. I must also say that one of the things you will notice, we are not just 25 million people, we are 30% of the nation's GDP with less than one gigawatt of grid supply. But no matter how you do the evaluation, we need 6 gigawatts of supply to survive as a modern metropolis. Now, it means that we now have a shortfall of 5 gigawatts in the power requirement for the city. But one of the studies that we carried out showed us that we are currently housing over 20 gigawatts of capacity. Now, let me compound that by also bringing to your notice that today, within the last 3-4 years, we have become home to about 10 data centers. Between them alone, they are already adding 1 gigawatt of consumption to what we need as a city. Now, next one. So, Lagos must act based on the need for us to act and take very proactive steps. The government of Lagos had put in place policies, regulations, operations, and market structure to ensure that we say a farewell to this culture of blackout. The first thing is that institutions have been put in place to give investors the right feel that we are going to come to the end of these challenges in no time. So we are having gas supplier, financiers, and everybody come into a structure that is bankable and accountable across the value chain entirely. The ministry will continue to be responsible for policy formulation, strategic planning, and coordination. LASEC will be responsible for regulation, licensing, tariff, and market oversight, and LISO will be responsible for network and market operations, dispatch coordination, market settlement, and transmission-related issues, whereas the Lagos State Electrification Agency will continue to be the electricity company for the state. And then we are bringing in loads of new market participants so that we can ensure that existing IPPs scale up their capacities, the DISCOs regig their roles, and mini-grid developers come on board, gas suppliers come on board, and additional service providers and investors are also able to come on board. The bottom line is that we have a institutional architecture that allows us to be able to support structured offtake, bankable contract, and payment assurance for gas to power projects. This, I'm not going to bore you with it, but this is the template for the market structure. It shows how we are going to move from molecules to cash in the bank, and everybody will be settled. Unlike what currently obtained, we are saying zero subsidy in our own electricity market. We are saying there must be clearing dates. So everybody that contributed to turning the molecules to neutrons to electrons, right? Yes, in our homes, everybody is rewarded. And then the payment life cycle is also illustrated in that line. Next one. Now, how do we intend to scale, and what does the plan look like? Immediate, if we resolve three challenges immediately. The first challenge is the one we are here to deal with, and that is gas availability. Once this is resolved, we will be able, gas, metering, and cash cycle management. Once those three issues are resolved, we will be able to immediately take on additional 500 megawatts of capacity. In about 1.5 years, we already have investors that have lined up willing to do additional capacity for us, and we believe we should be able to get in another 1.5. What is most important is that by the end of 6 years, we believe Lagos should be able to mobilize 6 gigawatts of fresh capacity for its electricity market. So we are saying of this 6 gigawatts, 4 gigawatts of it will be gas to power. And then we believe by the time we are maturing, we should be able to be off-taking between 350 to 450 million scoff per day at maturity. Okay, so what are our requirements for this new gas vision that we are putting on the table? The first one is that for us to be able to make that level of power available to our citizens, I must say that the gas component, which is the bedrock, needs to flow and take care of the following issues. Number one, guaranteed availability via production and supply planning, strategic allocation to ensure that our demand as is growing does not become a problem to the national, locally available gas supply. And then we intend to continue to scale and not to become a huge problem that the nation cannot handle. What we need to see delivered by all partners is additional pipeline, spur line investment, We also need to see strategic receiving and delivery points, and then new additional industrial and generation hubs will come up from our Greek hubs to the industrial hubs that we see come up. We believe in the overall mix of 6 gig, 4 gig will be for gas-fired, while 2 gig will be from renewables. Next one. Okay, so what are we doing to be able to make gas partnership bankable? The first thing we are doing is to emphasize the fact that we have the policy framework in place, and today we are initiating a market-oriented offtake arrangement, and within our policy framework, there are regulations and guiding tools for tariff and market rules, which support the gas to power infrastructure. And we intend to provide payment security and continue to be upfront and guide the market with data. So Vista Advisory are supporting us in this regard. We believe that we should be able to provide over time evidence-based expansion plan that all of us will be proud of. Next one. Now, this is what the collaborative chain would look like. GACN, NNPC via its pipeline subsidiary makes gas available to CLEM, metering and all that is done, and then service is delivered and electricity is produced for the market. At the end of the day, we expect that all the support that we need to ensure seamless gas sourcing, contracting and management by the power companies that are going to operate in our market is not distracted on account of the partnership that we're about to sign off today. Now, this is the roadmap towards where we are heading for. After this ceremony today, the joint working group will go into operation. They will confirm the governance rule, set up our appropriate data room, engage in all the details. We close on all the studies that have commenced. We will move on to ensure that the pricing-related issues are resolved, and then all the applicable contracts are simplified in such a way that when you want to come and generate in the Lagos electricity market, you are not running up and down, taking 2-3 years trying to get your gas supply agreement out, because we have gone through all that stress for you, and it's just for you to ride on what we have done. And at the end of the day, we will launch, and then we will keep scaling. So at the end of the day, we expect that everything will move in that direction. The data requirements for each phase have been identified, and we will be able to speed up on all that. Last one. Now, there are 3 basic decisions that will ensure that this is very successful. One is the supply plan. GACN needs to ensure that all pathways for gas volumes, sources, and phasing and containment management are in place to ensure that we don't suffer untoward unreliable supply in Lagos, because we are promising 24/7 supply of electricity. So we cannot afford to have any challenges with gas supply. Then the grid will continue to provide us the resources that is required, and over time, the infrastructure will grow. And together, working with GACN, the roadmap for that will be enhanced. On our part, we are inviting you once again. We know a lot of you in this room are largely focused on generating, gas production and all that. But I invite you to consider also to ride on the advantages that these gas to power initiatives that GACN is putting on the table for new capacities. And I promise you that International Finance Corporation and AFC are working with us to ensure that we put together a framework that pays you on agreed dates. You are not going to go and key up with any commissioner or any minister or any office. Everything will be automated. Once the meters have confirmed that you have delivered, your monies will be delivered to you, because we believe with 100% metering, the people of Lagos will pay. We are not saying there won't be people that will want to play pranks, but the tariff has a way of taking care of that. And we believe that over time, the culture of people paying and sustainably will be enhanced. Thank you very much, and this is Lagos.